Okay, folks, so we're gonna do another tray bake, but it's not gonna be a bake, it's gonna be a roast of cauliflower steaks. So, and it's gonna be with mushrooms and cheese and bread. So I have a ciabatta, but you could use any crusty bread, any good bread. I'm probably gonna use maybe that much, we'll see when it comes down to it. I've got some provolone, and I want to cut, at the end, I'll be slicing. I like this device for slicing, but I'm sure you have your own. And I wanted to use fontina, but I live in a food desert, so there's no fontina. Anyway, so what we want to do is get the stalk off, but not. And we want to get some of the green off, but we don't need to cut down. Oh, I want to say also I have 8 ounces of shiitakes and 8 ounces of creminis. And I want to show you what 8 ounces looks like. 227 grams is at 8 ounces. So that's what it looks like in the store. Mine are organic. All of ours are organic for some reason. I don't know why our town would care about that, but it does. So I'm going to do the same thing I did last time, which is cut it in half. And this time I'm going to make them thicker slices, 1 inch. All right, like that, 1 inch. They're going to be roasting at a very hot temperature, 450 in this case, which is why I haven't turned the oven on, because my oven won't adjust. So 1/2 ends up like that. This is the smaller tray. I'm going to use the bigger tray for this. And this will be for the mushrooms. And eventually the bread. But this is going to be yummy, and I hope you enjoy it. The only reason it's slightly more decadent is because it has cheese. Okay, but it's still a vegetarian. And we have, I hate when I use the language of teenagers just by osmosis. Anyway, these are going to go, we're going to, just hold on here. As normal, we're going to oil both sides. When I baked them, I didn't bother because they were thinner. And where's my little brush? Oh, here it is. Let's just brush it on. I feel like I don't think that you can overdo it. And then we're going to brush it on like that. We're going to season it with salt and pepper. And I'm starting early tonight because I not been able to sleep because of the heat, but it's not bad today. So turning the oven on will actually probably destroy my ecosystem. But let's just do that. And then we're doing just all the prep right now. Brush this around. Use your fingers if you want. Usually I use my fingers, but this brush is helpful. And then we're going to season with kosher salt and pepper. Put that aside till we have our temperature up. Alright. So I'll take that away and switch it out for the mushroom tray. This should not take very long, but it's quite normal that the shiitake stems are not really usable. So we're just gonna take the stems off. And if they're really large, we can cut them, the tops, and this one's a large one. Cut it in half. And this is nice size. Doing this quickly for the video. Also, you know, being quick is kind of good in terms of getting your dinners done. So we got our shiitakes, and I think that this one is a little large. Okay. And we got them spread around. Now we have our creminis, and we're gonna do quite thick slices because these are roasting in that. So looks kind of like half an inch, which recipes say is a quarter of an inch. You know how they exaggerate. I just want to have them. I want to have them not fall apart. But I want slices. I'm trying for slices. Okay, slice. I think each one into 4 goes well. Oh, there's another shiitake. Let's put the top in. Just try to make them nice and thick because 450 is a very high heat. And you want some. You don't want it to turn to mush. You want some mush. You want the mushroom flavor plus the texture. And then maybe I'll turn this on now while we're working on it. 450. And then this gets oil and salt and pepper too. And we can stir that all up. And then oil, salt and pepper. I'm not using herbs for this, although thyme, T-H-Y-M-E, and mushrooms are very friendly to each other, but I'm gonna leave the extra flavor up to the cheese. Okay, so that's a tray, and then I'm just gonna cut the bread. If you have really crusty bread, take the crust off, but I'm just gonna, and you only need like 2 slices of a bit, you know, like of a nice sourdough bread. But I have a ciabatta here, because that's what I found. And the bread, and it's not too, the crusts aren't too hard, and they won't be hard in your mouth, but they're going to go in at the very end. And when this goes in, I'll be slicing up the cheese. But we'll get back to that point when let's just stir this up a bit. When we get oh yeah, so what's going to happen, preview, flash forward, is we're going to roast the big chunks of cauliflower for 10 minutes or for 15. I might leave it in for 15 because I made them really thick. I guess in recipe terms, they are thicker than 1 inch. So I'm just gonna probably put them in for 15, and then I'm going to add on the top shelf, which is on the top third, and then the bottom third, I'm going to put in the mushrooms, and I'll show you that when it happens, as it happens. Hey loves, I'm just back to say that the oven's up to 450, and it's time. Now I have the racks, like I said, and the top third and lower third, I'm putting these thick, chunky slices of cauliflower in the top one for 10 minutes at this very high heat, and I'm going to check it at that point, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, my lovelies, it's been, I checked at 10 minutes and I think that I cut my cauliflower steaks a little thick. So I left in for, ooh, hot. So I left them in for 15 minutes. I'm now turning the tray in the upper third rack. And now it's time to put the mushrooms in for 15 minutes. So the total so far, well, not so far, the total will be 15 for the steaks plus 15 with both of them. And that brings it to a half an hour for the cauliflower. I also want to get ready for the next stage, so I'm just going to, you know, it's not very much bread. You don't need much bread. We're just going to oil this and salt and pepper it as well, because that goes in after 15 minutes in the tray with the mushrooms. And then we'll be moving on to the next stage. Okay friends, it's been 15 more minutes, which means it's time to flip. Ow! Hot. So first we're going to flip the cauliflower, which looks good. I'm going to take the mushrooms out while I do that. They look good too. I just don't want to overcook them. So I'm going to use this device. And if these break up, that's okay. It's going to be fine. Oh. Hold on. Ow! So that's... You know what? I'm totally happy if they break up, because I didn't really expect them to survive in the first place. Anyway, so they have a nice brown tinge on the top, and so they're going back in with the mushrooms for 10 minutes. I want to flip these around with the bread, because everything's going back in for 10 minutes. And I kind of want to get my ducks in a row. I hate that phrase. Let's just toss it around. I don't think the mushrooms are disintegrating. I just don't want to lose one. So we're just going to toss these. And we're going to, basically, everything goes back in. For 10 minutes. And I think I'm going to switch out. I'm going to put the mushroom and bread mixture in the top third rack. Like that. Because I think these are done. Maybe I didn't... Well, I can see that they're not entirely done. No, not entirely, but I'm putting them in the lower rack. For 10. And then you have to get ready with your cheese. So I'm going to begin slicing the cheese with my, where is it? Here it is. I want slices. These are rather thin. They don't have to be this thin. But I'm slicing the provolone. I wish it were fontina. You could use Gruyere, which is a hard cheese. But what you really want is a melted cheese. So I have to turn the timer on. And therefore I can't video. Okay, loves, it's only been 8 minutes, but I can hear the metal inside folding up. I don't want to, I'm sure the bread is toasted. Yes, it is. And I'm sure the cauliflower is cooked. Yes, it is. You can tell. Well, I can tell from experience because those white parts that are tough are now a little translucent. And by the way, we're not done. So here's the coup de grace. We're going to dump our bread and our mushrooms, which are lovely. The bread is toasted, and we're going to cover everything. For a final, for the finale. It's still very warm in my kitchen, so let's just cover with mushrooms, and look at that. Okay, that's excellent. So now we have this nice tray ready for the cheese, and as I was saying, it's hot in here, so I didn't get nice slices. So I'm just going to crumble up the cheese, and I'm going to use that whole amount. I'm crumbling up the chunks, but I'm also going to use the slices I did get and crumble up the chunks. The reason, I didn't get great slices was because it's hot, and I should have left the cheese in the refrigerator. But let's just do the slices we have and cover as much of the whole thing, but I'm going to say the cauliflower foremost. So here's some more slices. They're breaking in my hand, but that's okay. We could have done it by shredding everything anyway, like you do with pizza cheese, mozzarella. And we're just going to add this to the pieces, and we're not going to waste any of it. And because I don't think provolone has a lot of flavor, the pecorino went out of the bag and onto the counter. So we're going to do this. I'm going to add a little more saltiness with this pecorino on the provolone. Try not to hurt myself. But this is supposed to be a little bit decadent. So I want to use as much as I have. And I'm definitely not using cheddar. Alright, so let's just get this going. And we're going to put it back in at the third of the rung, the top third rung. And we want it to be bubbly and crinkly. And it's going right back in. For, I'd say, well, I'm going to check it for 8 minutes. Okay, lovelies, it's been 5 minutes. We really didn't want to cook the cauliflower more. We just wanted to get the cheese kind of melted and browned. So let's see. I think we achieved that. Now, it looks and smells fantastic. I have to turn the oven off because it's really hot in here. And then I can turn the fan off so you can hear me. Anyway, that's pretty spectacular. Let's see if we get a good picture of it. Now, if I had a cast iron enamel coated tray for doing this, then you would just serve it like that. But I'm going to try to get it into this pan. Into this serving platter. It's very hot, but it's transferring well. the foil is sticking a bit. I don't need to show you this. I should probably just wait to the end if I'm successful. And then if I'm not, you won't even notice. Anyway, I'm going to continue doing this and show you how I would serve it since I don't have one of those cast iron trays.